Welcome, Libra. Whoops. Coming out quick out of the gate there, you guys. So welcome, Libra and Libra cross watchers. I can't speak now. To your singles and new love reading. So we're going to get where you are, where you're headed, and what you need to know. And then from this deck, we're going to get the next love interest for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. And it'll be timestamped in the description box below. If I just said Virgo, I apologize. This is Libra's reading. So we do have the Queen of Wands, which I almost want to say, like, I'm going to be a bit of a smart aleck here. Like, damn, Libra's looking good. That's the card of the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Cups is where you're headed. Okay. Okay. Libra, I feel like you've had a hunch about something. You felt that something was off. It's almost like you could feel it in the damn air, but you could not put your finger on it, right? I feel like you are, you seem to get closer to the answer that you're looking for, but no, you don't seem to, it's like, let's say you thought that there were, let's say this is a big circle, like there were this many options that could be kind of causing a disturbance in the force. And I feel like as you kind of move through the rest of the month, you do seem to, excuse me, you do seem to narrow it down. I want to say like to one person, but it's almost like you seem to be able to narrow it down to that person, but what exactly that person is doing, I feel like some of you are like, I already know. Okay, cool. Some of you already know. But for those of you that don't, you do seem to be able to narrow it down. And it's almost like it's that energy of once you got it narrowed down, you know exactly what's happening. It's almost like you're just waiting. I almost want to say like, because this person seems to be in a way like digging their own grave. And it's like, and you're just waiting for them to say what you've been waiting for them to say so that you can kind of either like drop them or expose them somehow. I also feel that this might be specific. It may not actually. I feel like you have been putting across this persona of this energy, not of somebody that doesn't feel like you think you're better than everybody, but somebody that has it together, somebody that's very strong, someone that doesn't get their, it's almost like you may seem like someone that is almost like always a really dynamic character, but actually it's like you're super soft and squishy and you'd rather just cuddle on the couch. and not at all in a bad way, okay? It just feels like who you present to most people is not truly indicative of who you really are and what you're truly looking for in relationships, right? It's like not everybody gets to see that other side of you. And I feel like there seems to be a certain loneliness that comes with that. And it doesn't feel like, I mean, I'm not picking up any messages that that's something that you need to change, or you got to do this, you got to do that, or that there's any advice here that needs to be, morphed into anything else. It just feels like it's there. I feel like even if there was something that I was being guided to say, I feel like you wouldn't listen to it anyway because, well, this may bring you more loneliness in the short term. It seems to give you it's almost like it seems to give you a greater ability to be more authentic with the people that are really important to you. I hope this is making sense. I kind of want to say, if you have sent out a scout to get some information for you, I feel like you're gonna, it's not so much that you hear back with the information that you were looking for, but you hear that they are making progress in finding that information. That probably sounds strange. It's almost like you may have this, this may not be for everybody, right? But it's like you seem to have this really gracious but sarcastic sort of vibe going on. But actually, it's like that sarcasm serves to weed out people that you don't like or that you don't want to be around you, rather than it being like a way to, it's not a defense mechanism, it's more like a offensive. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. I know sometimes I'm sure I don't. I also feel that you may try to, or not try to, I feel like you already do this. It's almost like you try to put on this thing like you're a lot happier than you are. And not that you're unhappy, but it's almost like you just don't want to get, oh, that's what it is. You don't want to get into like a big, deep conversation with every person you meet in your life. So you show them who they need to see so that you aren't going to be sitting there having uncomfortable conversations, telling people that you don't want to answer questions because, and it's not that you would have a problem saying no, okay? It just feels like you found a very efficient way so that people don't probe into your life. So people aren't kind of, it's almost that energy of, let's say, for example, just for the energetics of it, okay? Let's say you've been single for a long time. And every year you go to family dinner or like, or even with when you're out with your friends, you haven't seen someone in a while. So are you dating anybody? So are you and it's like, and you just start telling people that you are because you don't want to talk about it anymore. And it's not because you care. It's not because you feel the need to overcompensate or anything like that. It's like, it's just easier to do that than it is to get into some big diatribe and almost like get into, maybe you don't actually do this, but again, it's the energetics of it. It's like, it's easier to do that than it is to get into some big discussion about why you're not in a rush and why you don't feel like you need another person to complete. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like there's something that you're hiding from yourself. It doesn't feel like it's sadness. It's almost like you're hiding how you this might sound strange. Libra, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you hiding from yourself how you feel about someone here? Because I feel like for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, yes, you are. And I feel like for those of you that is going to, it's like when I said that, like, yes, you are, it's like you got that little smile and you know who it is. And what's really interesting is I feel like you're actually being really wise about it, right? It's like maybe you've developed a crush on somebody, let's say, for example. But you are smart enough to know that a crush is a crush, right? And that, excuse me. And I feel like because you have this kind of really rich inner world that not everybody gets access to, I feel like even this person that you have a little bit of a crush on, they're going to be put through the same screening process, let's say, as everybody else. And so it's almost like your head and your heart don't work together necessarily, but they're in sync, if that makes sense. It's like they maybe run on different operating systems, but they're both working towards the same goal, if that makes sense. So what do you need to know? I'm just going to make sure the deck is up right. What does Libra need to know? I'm hearing something about a sports game. Soccer game, maybe? There's the strength card at the bottom of the deck. It just feels like there's something here. I feel like there's something here where you want to be this softer part of yourself. But it's almost like there's something that you need to take care of. There's a certain situation that requires this energy out of you. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's the energetics of you want nothing more than to like curl up with a blanket and read a book or watch a movie or just do something very kind of like quiet and cozy. But life at this moment requires you to be different, to keep it in line, to keep life in line. Now, maybe it's that you're parenting, maybe you're a single parent and there are certain liberties that you can't take or that you feel it's like it's not the right time for you to take them, you know what I mean? Because you need to parent. It's that sort of a thing. It's almost like of course you would rather sit and kind of spend time with either your child or whatever. Just for example, okay, let's say you are a single parent. Of course you would rather sit with your child and enjoy their company rather than get on them about their homework and make them clean their room and make them do this and make them do that, right? But you do what needs to be done. So it's that kind of an energy. So if you're, let me think of an example if you're not. It's almost like you seem to know that someone requires your leadership right now, even though what you would prefer to have with them is friendship. Even though it's like, even though you would prefer to put your walls down, it's a really interesting energy because a lot of the time, or more often than this, certainly in readings, we keep our walls up when we should let them down. And you have to put that wall up when you would rather have it down, which is it's a very interesting energy. And I feel like you know that you need to meet this challenge where it is, and obviously you are. But it's almost like you're being the Queen of Wands so that you can be the Queen of Cups, rather than the Queen of Wands in you is protecting the Queen of Cups in you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I also want to say, I feel like there's a goal that you're going after that it's kind of like these two parts of you seem to work really well together. So it's like when you're going after a goal, it's like maybe your Mars is in a, I want to say fire sign, but it's not always a fire sign, right? It's like maybe your Mars is in one of those signs where that's very, very driven. And of course, every sign has the potential to be driven, but you know what I mean? It's almost like you're able to almost kind of like zip into different bodysuits. This sounds strange. I feel like you're able to kind of step into different versions of yourself depending on what is required of you and what you're working towards. And I feel like there seems to be something that you're putting to the side for a second while you push through something. And I feel like if that's what you've been doing, whatever it is that you've put to the side that you've been looking forward to, those creature comforts almost, it's almost the energy of like, if you've been working your butt off and you've been waiting for that weekend off, it's almost like you're about to walk into that weekend off, if that makes sense. So for those of you with your sun in Libra, next love interest. We have the Three of Wands. Ooh. Oh, the energy is like it's going down my back there. So we have the Three of Wands, but it is reversed. I feel like this is someone that's really impulsive. They feel like they are a little chaotic, kind of bossy, a little bit domineering. Woo! It just feels like the kind of person that it's almost like, for example, this is the kind of person that like they see you, they want you, they assume they'll have you. You know what I mean? There isn't, and you know, relationships when you're kind of getting to know somebody, or even if you're trying to woo someone, there's a certain amount of, you know, finesse that needs to come with that, right? And I feel like this person, it's almost like they're so matter of fact about it. I feel like it's because they see this Queen of Wands, so they feel like, okay, well, of course, Libra is going to have that same Queen of Wands energy all the time. Or it's almost like they seem to feel that you'll just get on board, and not in a like, you know, you're desperate and you're waiting, you know, it's more like they seem to see you as that same matter of fact energy. And so it's almost like it's purely logical that the two of you would be together. Of course you would. Like, why would you even question that? But because there's this other part of you that also, that you kind of offer to people that are close to you, it's almost like they're not going to know what to do with that. I feel like they don't want you to be that. They don't want you to be that it's almost like they want a workhorse, not a partner. You know what I mean? They want somebody that's just going to fall in line and like, listen, it's not like, you know, you're their employee. They can't, it's almost like they just kind of want someone that's going to fall in line, someone that's going to kind of be a leader next to them. And of course you have that capability, but you need more than that. And I'm not so sure that this person does not have it to give to you from what I'm seeing. I usually try to stay away from saying things like this with this much kind of finality, okay? But I don't think this person is prepared to give you kind of like the softness and the love and the consideration. It's almost like if, let's say, for example, you ask this person, hey, can we do this? And they would just say no. And of course, no, you know, is a full sentence. You're allowed to just say no. But let's say it was something that you really wanted. They would still say no and not offer an explanation. They would, and it's like, and they don't want to discuss it. They don't want to have this. They don't want, like, they just kind of want their word. Like, if they say no, no means no. I mean, no always means no, of course, right? But it's like, let's say, for example, you really wanted to go ballroom dancing and they didn't. And it's like, and you kind of bring it up, you tell them how much you want to do it. They say no, they expect never to hear about it again. And it's like, and they just kind of, it's almost like they kind of expect you to abandon the things that you want just to be with them. And it's almost like you would have to abandon parts of yourself to do that. And I mean, that's not really what the Queen of Wands does. The Queen of, like, neither of these energies will do that, right? Excuse me. It's almost like this person needs a page. They're looking at a queen or a king, or how you choose to identify, but because that's what they want, that's what they admire, but what they are actually prepared for is a relationship with someone that is kind of going to do whatever they tell them to do. You know what I mean? It's like they're looking for a follower, not a fellow leader, if that makes sense. So for those of you with your moon in Libra, excuse me, moon in Libra, moon in Libra. So we have the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And then we have the we have the Nine of Wands, the Empress, Three of Swords, and the Fool. Okay. And I do want to say, so we have this we have the Seven of Swords with the Devil, and then that Page of Wands underneath it again. So, Libra. I feel like this is someone that has started again. I feel like it feels like someone that pushed through something with almost like they really fought for something, they pushed through it, they gave it everything they had, and it still fell apart. You know what I mean? It's like maybe this person has recently been through like a bad breakup or a divorce, or it feels like there's something here that they fought for that they then had that it's almost like they fought for, they worked for, and then they got it, and they were able to enjoy it for only a second before it blew up in their face. And I feel like that's what has happened in the past. I feel like right now they're in this Fool energy. I do feel that I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like you go for this person. I feel like they seem to be somebody that is, it's almost like they lost, you can't lose Empress energy, right? But it's kind of like they lost that energy when they lost whatever that was. Whatever it was that they fought for, it's almost like they had to keep giving, like cutting off parts of the tree to plant as saplings. And it's like, and the more they cut off of themselves, the closer they got to this. And it's almost like they're starting over again without the wisdom they had before somehow. It's almost like they're looking for someone to take care of them, not quite for it feels like this person was the Empress but is reverted back into this kind of this Page energy. And I mean, obviously this is going to have something to do with it. You know what I mean? It's like this person, I feel like it's the energy of somebody that did nothing for their past but give that person or that situation every benefit of the doubt. And it's like, and every time they gave them the benefit of the doubt, that person was making a real fool out of them. because this is not the kind of energy anybody wants to be involved with. It's lying, it's cheating, it's deception, it's almost like it's lying to feed an addiction. Oh, I don't even like this one looking at me right now. I feel like there may have been two people, okay? And I'm not going to try to go too deep into this because it's this person's past, and if they want to tell you, they can tell you. But I feel like it's almost like this person, this Empress energy, thought that they were telling a little white lie. But actually, it's like, it's almost like it turns out to be this part of a really big web of lies. You know what I mean? And it's like this person thought that they were, it's like maybe they thought they were just covering for someone that was coming home late. But it's like, but it goes so much deeper than that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, maybe they were home late, but why? You know what I mean? And it's like, and it feels like the reason is much more sinister. I feel like the person that they were with was a user. And it's almost like this person, the cumulative suffering that they experienced as a result of this person, it feels like it's almost like it's knocked them back into adolescence practically. You know what I mean? I feel like it's, sorry, it's just a message there. I have to get out of my face. My son's just telling me he's coming home for lunch. So sorry. It just kind of feels, it's almost like this person has Empress energy in there, but whatever this one did to them, like, holy cow, man. It's like this person seems to have gotten this one so tied up in knots that it's like they just decided they didn't want to know a lot of things anymore, and they're just going to start from scratch. And it's not like, you know, it was such a, I mean, it was obviously a very difficult situation, but it doesn't feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's so earth-shattering that this person assumes that they don't know anything about the world. Is that they don't want to know. And I feel like to a certain extent, they're almost kind of wanting to turn a blind eye. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. You may already know that this is going to happen, and I hope that it doesn't, but from what I'm seeing, this person's going to go back with that other one. And I feel like they may be attracted to you, but they seem, it's like they're kind of getting pulling. They're getting pulled back into it with this one. And I feel like you may, depending on what the situation is, right? It's like you may try to kind of stick around for this person and help them, but it's almost like they keep willingly walking into the same BS situation. You know, it's that like they keep going into the same situation. And what's absolutely heartbreaking, it really is heartbreaking, is that it's not that this person is going into the same situation expecting a different result every time. It's that they're going into the same situation choosing to ignore and set aside everything they already know about this person and acting like it's a fresh start. And I almost want to say they're acting like it's a fresh start, but I feel to a certain extent that it's almost like I don't know if this is the right word, but it's almost like they disassociate from what happened last time with this one and then go walking right back into it again. And it's almost like they've kind of set aside who they really, truly are to be involved with this person. And I do feel like at first, I mean, obviously it's going to hurt if this person chooses this really toxic energy over you. But if that's the case, It's like, I feel like obviously when I feel like if people said to you like, oh, this person did you a favor, if that's kind of who they are, I feel like at first it kind of won't hit the same until you see afterwards. You know what I mean? That it's almost like this person, it's almost like if you were to get with this person, it would be that energy of, it's almost like you're wrestling to get the pig out of the shiz until you realize that the pig wants to be there, that they love it. I feel like there's something about this person. It's like they want who you are. They want the kind of life that they would have with you. But I feel like they're, hold on for a sec. It's almost like they see themselves as somehow tied to this other one. It's almost like, for example, it's almost like there's a big age gap, and this person is someone that your person kind of idealized, and they've never, excuse me, they've never really been able to get out of that idealizing energy. If ever you've seen Empire Records, what was his name? The guy that is coming to the radio station that Liv Tyler, kind of like, he's older, much older. He had played, I can't remember. I can't remember the freaking names of anybody right now. Hold on. Anyway, it's the energy of somebody that is looking at someone else with stars in their eyes, and they keep going back to that energy. You know what I mean? It's like they fell in love with someone who was on a poster on their wall. And even though that person is horrible now and does nothing but use them, they keep going back. And I feel like because it's almost like there's something about your person getting validation out of being in a relationship with someone they used to idealize that keeps pulling them back. So we're gonna move on. So for those of you with a Libra rising, wait. One, two, three, four. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't rising. So we have the Chariot, which is of course the card for Cancer. Ah, so I feel like this person is someone that is a match to, they seem to make you feel vulnerable, and not in a negative way, right? But it's almost like this person seems to, there's something very sweet, very almost like really good natured. There's something that's soft about their energy that seems to, it's almost like you want to be in this Queen of Cups energy around them. And that doesn't mean that you are, necessarily female, okay? It just means that it's someone that, for someone that puts on, or that is a Queen of Wands when they need to be, or for the most part, there's something that's really sweet about this person, that's really good natured, that's very, it just feels like they have a certain way about them. It's like, they seem to be someone that's very honest, someone that's unassuming. And by that, it's kind of that energy of somebody that, they're not there because they want something from you. They're there because they like you. You know what I mean? It's like they enjoy your company. I feel like this is not the kind of person that's really pushy. It actually feels like it's, it feels very like comforting. It feels like a weighted blanket is really what it, it's almost that energy of like, for those of you that live in a climate that's cold enough to get snow, or if ever you've been around it and you've been out all day in the snow and like, and you're cold now. You're just cold. There's no activity that you can do that's going to warm you up at this point. You just need to be inside where it's warm. And you get inside and you sit down, you have a big cozy blanket, a cup of hot chocolate. That's who this person is. They're the warm blanket with a cup of hot chocolate. And there's just something about them that's just so loving. It's like the epitome of that Cancerian energy, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. So I feel like this person, and they seem to be quite taken with you. It's almost that energy of like, you might feel a really nice energy around you, but because they're not aggressive, it's almost like you'll feel that they're there, but you won't know that they're there until they're right in front of you, because their energy is, it just seems to be much softer. And they are quite taken with you. I do feel, I'm going to be straight with you here. I feel like this is someone that could very easily get their feelings hurt. There's something here about their physical appearance that they are relatively new in having confidence in it. And it's almost like if the two of you do get together, I feel like it's important that that you, I mean, not that you would say anything negative, but it's like this person really truly loves the one that they're with. And I feel like they, in that, because they have this really sweet energy, they also have the capacity to be easily hurt. It feels like it's almost like they're waiting for you to step out of this Queen of Wands energy. Because while the Queen of Wands energy may be like fun and exciting, it's not something that they could deal with every day. You know what I mean? It's like they need the real version of you, not the one that you put on when you need to get something done. I feel like this is someone that at times needs to be treated with kid gloves. And of course, you know, we all do sometimes, right? I feel like this person might be more so until it's almost that energy of they need to be handled with care. And it's almost like, because they're so not so critical of themselves, but like if something is wrong or they've done something wrong, they know before anybody else does. I feel like this is someone that has a pretty rich internal experience and very, very rarely will open up enough to let somebody else in and experience that. I feel like they might be a little bit shy, but they are quite taken with you. And it's almost like they are attracted to the Queen of Wands in you. But it's a relief to realize, you know, depending on how far into a relationship, if that is what the two of you choose to pursue with each other, it's actually a huge relief to them that you have this Queen of Cups energy. I feel like this is the kind of person that would be your champion. You know what I mean? It's the kind of person that, like, let's say, for example, the two of you have been together for a while and you've kind of made it to that space where there's a certain level of comfort. You know what I mean? It's like it just feels like the kind of person that would love you no matter what. You know what I mean? It feels like the kind of person that would stand up for you, that would have your back, that wouldn't, it's like, this is the kind of person that if they were in a room and people started talking nonsense about you or something like that, they're not going to pick a fight with somebody, but they're not going to stick around and let people, and have people talk about you like that around them. It's the kind of person that will pull, like if someone, let's say, for example, going back to that same scenario, let's say the two of you are in a relationship and someone starts talking poorly about you, you're going to notice this person they're just going to drift away from that one. They're just not going to be around them. It feels like it's a different level of loyalty than most people have these days. It feels like the kind of person that if it was just the two of you, they'd be happy. It's like if it was just the two of you, the only two people in the whole world, they'd still be happy because they have you. So for those of you with your Venus in Libra, which actually would be a pretty powerful placement. Venus in Libra. Venus. Ooh, we have Judgment. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, I feel like this person, I was hearing like they've gone through their own personal stigmata practically. I feel like either you saw this happen, like you saw them kind of come out of a very challenging energy in their lifetime, or you will see it happen. But either way, I feel like this person, hold on for a sec. I feel like there's somebody that appeals more to the Queen of Wands in you than the Queen of Cups. I feel like this is somebody that, it's almost like they seem to be somebody that's very energetic, that's like, they really seem to have that kind of go-getter energy, if you will. But it's almost like, but they need the same thing as you do within a relationship. I am seeing that there's going to be some arguments between the two of you, and I feel like it comes down to their ambitions. I feel like they seem to, it's almost like they might want you to be in this Queen of Wands energy more than you are. You know what I mean? And it's almost like they seem to get impatient with you when you're not. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they want to be the center of attention. And I feel like, damn it. I feel, okay, that this is the kind of person that if they weren't getting the attention from you that they wanted, let's say, for example, they come home and they're looking for, let's say the two of you are living together or something, and they want attention and you're not in a place where you can give it to them, well, they're going to go online and find it. They're going to get it somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like they seem to be somebody that, it's almost like if you knew the version of them that everybody knows, you would never think that they need that much validation, but they do. And it's almost like they need you to be this Queen of Wands to, almost like to be a match to their energy. But then it's almost like they kind of want to they might bleed the Queen of Cups in you dry of that supportive energy, because it just feels like they're a vacuum. You know what I mean? It's like they're just kind of here. They want, look, they even took the plate. I'm trying to dance around this because I don't want to feel like I'm pushing you into anything. But I feel like this person would always need to be on top. They'd always need to be the boss. They'd always need to be the one in charge. And it's like, and if you were to question them in front of other people, it's like they get their feathers ruffled, right? It's like, well, you can't do that in front of other people. You can't say that in front of other people. It's like there's this whole persona thing, right? And I feel like you may, if you do get into a relationship with them, I feel like it ends up being a lonely one. I feel like it ends up being like, if the two of you are, let's say the two of you are supposed to go out, but they want to do something else that night, they'll come there, start a fight, leave, go out with their friends, and then post about it all over social media, and leave you feeling lonely, and then blame you later. But actually, it's like they orchestrated the whole thing so they could go out and do whatever they wanted. This person is about themselves. And maybe they want a relationship, but they don't want to have that others, you know, they don't want to have that others centered energy. They don't want to have to focus on what somebody else needs or wants. They just want somebody that's there at home that will validate them so they can go out and do what they, I almost wanted to say do what they want, but that doesn't mean that they're coming home, excuse me, getting validation from you and then running around with other people. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a third party sort of deal. It just feels more that it's, it does feel like if the two of you stayed in a long-term relationship, it may eventually settle down, but these games will always be there. So I think I'll leave it there, Libra. This reading is getting really long. I apologize. So if this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful. I do apologize, guys. I know that it was late, but I've been in bed sick. Excuse me. So I'm just getting back to finishing these up. For those of you that are kind of, channel regulars, you guys know that I usually upload on Thursdays and Sundays, but because I am finishing these up on Tuesday, I simply will not have enough time to get 12 reads done, or 12 longer reads done by Thursday. So I will release these singles and new love reads. And then on Sunday will be the mini weekly love reads, and then we'll be back to the regular schedule, uploading on Thursday and Sunday. So with that said, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.